Hello, Editing Charlotte here. Just so you know, I filmed this video, hence the change in background, hence a different background. I filmed this video at the end of January and it's now probably, I think, when I'm going to be putting this up, early to mid-April. So the answers that I give in this tag are correct at the time of recording. I feel like I'm on Pointless or something. I feel like I'm on a quiz show. When I say, oh, this is the book I currently read or something, I think that's one of them. It was the book I was currently reading or had currently read at the end of January. It is now April. Apologies. What can you do? I'll let you get into the video. Hi, hello, welcome everybody, and if you're new here, welcome back. Today we are going to be doing the rapid fire book tag. I did this years ago, the first chapter of my YouTube channel, and I think the video is still up, so if you want to go scroll for that, that's up to you. I'm not going to link it, but you can go scroll for it if you want. I was tagged to do this by Layla over on Reading with the Boss. I'll obviously link her channel in the description below. Just questions about books, about reading, and they're rapid fire. It's usually just like a this or this kind of sort of question, so I'm going to try and answer them as quickly as I can. So without further ado, I think we should just Tom Daly into this video. Yeah, you can unsubscribe now. The first question is ebook or physical book, and I'm gonna go physical book. I don't really like reading ebooks. I don't know why. I think it's just I don't go towards them, so when I do, I just don't really like it. The only time that I do read on my phone is if it's for school or if it's fan fiction. Question number 2 is hardback or paperback. Paperback. I am a paperback queen. I love majority paperbacks just because I'm British. And the majority of the books that we have here are obviously paperback, and it's just more accessible because it's cheaper. And I just prefer paperback because it means I'm a bender with the spines, and you know, come for me.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
I can read a hardback, I'm not saying I don't like to, because the one I'm reading right now, which I don't have the cover on, is 'Twas the Night Shift Before Christmas by Adam Kay. I'm going to start this today. Cover is obviously here, but I just take it off because I just can't be dealing with it. Online or in-store book shopping? Both. Actually, because I obviously do online shopping because it's cheaper than buying them full price in a bookstore, but I do like to sometimes treat myself, or if I can, I do have the money to shop in store, then I like to. If you count charity shop book shopping as in-store buying, then yeah, I like that too. And I'm copping out, but both. But if I had to choose, I say in-store. I just use online more because it's more accessible and cheaper. Trilogies or series? I think I just say trilogies just because series intimidate me. Series are long, and if it's like super long, I'm like, that's too much dedication. It's not like I'm not gonna read it, but I'm a bit more like intimidated by it. So I think I say trilogies because then I know it's 3 books, wham bam bam, done. I love a good series, but it's still done in 3 books. So I'm gonna say trilogies. Heroes or villains? Villains. I think ever since I knew I was a Draco Malfoy #1 stan, even though I don't count him as a villain, I love myself a good villain. And I think I'm more towards villains, especially in TV shows and films. So maybe in books, it's kind of a bit of both, because in TV shows and films, I'm there for the villains. I love the villains. It depends on the villain. I think I'm a bit of both because it depends on how obviously the villain's depicted, but I want to say villains because I love a good villain origin story. I'm going like, oh yeah, actually maybe not all villains, and then I'm coming up with all the villains in my head that I like James Patrick March, and most of them are Evan Peters' American Horror Story characters, and like the Joker and stuff like that. A book you want everyone to read. I don't have any books I've read on me because they're all at home back in my parents' home. This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay. It's not like super popular in booktube, I think, especially outside the UK, so read This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay, please. You won't regret it. It is amazing. So please, This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay. Recommend an underrated book. I'm gonna say one that I read years ago, and I always used to promote this on my channel, and I don't think I've really talked about it much since, and that is The Art of Being Normal by Lisa Williamson. I think that's the title. This is a book about 2 people forming a friendship. One of them is going through and is coming to terms with them being trans, and the other one, you know, has this, I don't want to spoil it, but has a secret, and it kind of bonds them together. It was just so pure and so great. I would like to reread it because I haven't read it in quite a few years, and I think back then when I read it I wasn't so educated on the trans community. So I think if I reread it now with being more educated on the trans community. The next question is the last book you finished, and for me that was The Nightingale by Chris and Hannah. I don't want to talk about this too much because I'm still trying to get over this book. It wasn't like I had a really bad night last night after I finished it, but I just felt really haunted and really just like down after I finished it. You know when people say like, oh, I haven't cried as much as a book as I have at this book? I genuinely haven't. Like, I don't cry at books often because I just don't connect with books as much as I do with like films and TV shows, which I cry at a lot. But this just broke me, both on the reasoning of the actual story, because of the actual story, and because of the history behind this book. I'm going to go into more depth about it in my wrap up, which will probably be up before this video goes out, so if it is, I'll leave a link in the description. It wrecked me and I love it so much. The last book you bought, Our Hearts So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kemmerer. I still haven't read it yet, but it was the last book I bought. Obviously I've read A Curse So Dark and Lonely and I want to continue on with the series. Weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark? My foot.
Something about this doesn't sit right in my spirit.
Not a permanent bookmark, obviously. It's more like, oh, I just quickly need to do something, but I can't be bothered to grab my bookmark, so I'll just shove my foot in there. Disgusting! You can unsubscribe once again. Use books, yes or no? Yes. I go secondhand book shopping all the time. Top 3 favourite genres: contemporary, urban fantasy. Can LGBTQ plus count as a genre? Because I'd eat that up. I'm taking that. Borrow, buy. Because if I borrow a book from a friend, which I don't because I'm the reader of my friends, but if I would, and then if I liked it, I would want to keep that book, and if I'm borrowing it, I can't, so buy. If it's from the library, like I borrow audiobooks in the library all the time, but still buy. Characters or plot? Characters. Mix of both, more characters. I need to be able to connect with the characters. I can have a not so great plot, like a good plot, but it's not like wow, and have great characters and still enjoy the book. That would help the plot. But if it was like weak characters, I'd be like, I don't care that they're going through this plot. Like, it could be an amazing plot, but if I'm not connecting with the characters, I wouldn't care what happens to them. I wouldn't care how the plot's progressing, if you know what I mean. I'm a characters gal because I fall for fictional characters all the time, and like I don't mean that softly, both in books and TV shows and films all the freaking time. Long or short books? I read a lot of long books, not like long books. When people do their like average pages of the year, it was around like 300 or like 200 to 300, whereas mine was more like 300 to 400. I don't read massive books. I don't think I've read a book that's over like 500 or 600 pages for a while. I think I'm in the middle, but this is my preference. Short, because I get through them quicker. Long or short chapters? Short chapters, because it means if I'm just in a rush and I want to read a little bit but I don't want to read too much, I can just get a short chapter done and out the way and like still feel like I've completed something, and then when I pick it back up again, I'm not like in the middle of a chapter. Long chapters can be great because it's just like it keeps you engaged, keeps you wrapped up. I think for efficiency and just enjoyment, I prefer short chapters. Name the first 3 books you think of. The Nightingale, This Is Going to Hurt, and Siege and Storm. Books that makes you laugh or cry. Books that made me cry. Books that make me laugh. Harry Potter. Like, I'm really listening to Harry Potter and there's so many times where I'm just like laughing, especially at Harry being sassy. So I say Harry Potter, like that's the first thing that comes to my head. Our world or fictional worlds? Fictional worlds. Do I have to explain why? I think everyone's gonna put that. Audiobooks, yes or no? Yes, I love audiobooks. I'm usually using audiobooks for rereads and to read like autobiographies and like non-fiction books that I know I probably wouldn't buy, but I mainly use it for rereads. I love them and they just helped my reading so much. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? No. I don't like go, oh, that's a bad cover, I'm not gonna read that. If I've heard of the book and I know it's good, then I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna read it because it's got a bad cover. But if I see obviously a good cover, I'm gonna be like, but I don't automatically go, I want to read that. I'll just go, that's a nice cover. Book to movie or book to TV adaptations. It depends on the book, because some books we all can see and I know that are better adapted into TV shows. But I think I'm gonna go TV shows just because I love TV more than I like film. I love both because obviously I'm studying film, but I want to go into TV, so I'm going to say TV shows because I just feel like you can adapt and flesh out a book better in a TV show. And as I said, some books don't work in TV show format and work better in film format, but a lot of them do work more, I feel, in TV show format. So I'm going to say TV shows just because I love TV shows so freaking much. A movie or TV show you preferred to its book? I don't want to say A Series of Unfortunate Events, because even though that was a really good TV show, I think it's just as good as the books. The Haunting of Hill House. I really like the book and the book was good, but I definitely prefer the TV show. Not the 1960 or 1963 film, but the TV show I definitely think is better than the book. The TV show was just amazing. And the last question is series or standalones. I like a series because it's just got that kind of expansive, cliffhangery kind of engagement aspect to it. But obviously standalones are a lot better of keeping my TBR down. I'm gonna say standalones. At this present time in my life, I think it would change depending on my chaotic TBR. It's very interchangeable. I like both. So that is it for the rapid fire book tag. I now need to tag people, and I'm going to be blanking on anybody and everybody that I've ever tagged. I'm going to tag Lisa over on Lisa Marie Reads. I love her. She's amazing. Honestly, such a sweetheart. I honestly stan her. And Steph over on Nefa Entertainment. So that is it for the rapid fire book tag. Once again, thank you to Layla for tagging me. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below maybe some of your responses to this, maybe some of your opinions on my responses. If you are new around here, do not forget to subscribe, like this video, turn on the notification bell. With all this chaoticness done, I'll see you in my next video.